Of releasing and let go. We released to the flame those things that we wish not to take with us into the year of 2023, truly set free in 2023. And as we placed those pieces of flash paper to the flame, poof, they disappeared. What a wonderful experience it is that we were releasing and letting go. But in that journey of releasing and letting go, what have we done? We've created a void, an openness. For as we've emptied out, today we're filling in. We're filling in that void with the wonderful journey of proclaiming what we're believing for. Now we've released that which we don't want. We're now embracing that which we do desire within our hearts and our lives. So this morning we have this wonderful exercise that we're inviting everyone to participate in. And for those of you who are joining through our Facebook program, we're delighted that you're with us here at City of Light today. We encourage you to set your own goals, maybe jot them down. We here in the congregation are writing them out. We're going to place those pieces of paper in a self-addressed envelope. I'm going to be holding on to them for a year, praying over them, joining with you in great faith, believing for the miraculous unfolding in your life. And at the end of the year, we're going to be mailing that out, seeing how that manifestation has unfolded for you. So we're believing for great things as we're in this journey, claiming, proclaiming in an action that which we believe to be so, as we now fill that emptiness or fill that void of that which we've released of not wanting to that which we desire within our hearts and our lives. We created this vacuum, so it's essential that we choose wisely what we want to fill that void with. So today, it's all about making that choice. Choose in the power that has been given to you, that free will to make a choice. Choose to take that power and own it and to be the master of choice in your own hearts and lives. Rather than the world choosing for you, you choose. Rather than life choosing for you, you choose. You choose what you want this year to manifest as you write that down for 2023 and include that, those manifestation desires, and put them in your envelope. And we're going to be praying with you. So today we are naming our desires in a powerful way, because I want to tell you this. Those desires, everything that you are seeking within your heart and life, awaits you. It's waiting for you. This is a very positive, powerful spiritual truth that often is overlooked. To understand that the answer to your prayer is already available for us within our hearts and our lives. It's not something we're waiting on. It's something that's always there, ready for you. Everything awaits you. I was invited to go on a sailing vacation several years ago. Everything was planned out for me, and what a wonderful trip it was. Because on the day I was ready to take off, well, there was a car ready to pick me up and take me to the airport. When I got to the airport, my ticket was ready. And when I arrived at my destination, the yacht, the sailing ship, was ready to go. My room on the sailing yacht was ready for me to settle in. The crew handed me a cocktail and said, "It's ready for you. We're ready to take off on a vacation. Your vacation begins right now." Wow. Everything was ready. Now, that's a simple metaphor of the journey of our life. As we're walking in this divine goodness, in this divine presence of God, everything that you seek, everything you desire is waiting for you. It's right there. Everything I imagined was ready for me to experience. And everything that we imagine today, everything that we begin to dream, everything we begin to set forth in a sense of consciousness and intention is waiting for us. It is not something that has to be created, something that has to be whipped up, something we need to wait on. It is there in a powerful context for us. It's essential that we come to this understanding, and then when we say, "and so it is," in our time of prayer, when we're saying amen, which means, and so it is, and so that which we've spoken, and so that which we proclaimed, and so that which we've imagined, and so that which we've desired, it is. We must come to that powerful understanding, for we live in this world of illusion that constantly says, my life is filled with challenges. My life is filled with disappointments. My life is filled with discouraging moments, and, it's not perfect. But someday it will all come together, and we live in this world of someday. We live in this context of someday. Not now, but someday. And that someday is like a veil that covers everything within our life. The world is like a veil or like a curtain or that which hides the realm of right now. It's here. It's available. It's awaiting you. But we have somehow bought into well, we're going to pray, and someday, maybe, it might be possible. That someday is like a veil that hides things. And veils, curtains, walls kind of hide a lot of things in our life, don't they? I often wondered why a bride comes down the aisle with a veil on. What's she hiding in there? Well, especially if we look at a particular passage of Scripture that talks about the story of Jacob, who loved Rachel. Jacob had found this beautiful woman at the well and helped water her flock. And assisting her, he fell in love with her beauty. And he went to Rachel's father, Laban, and asked for her hand in marriage. And he said, yes, and in return, I ask that you work for 7 years. Well, at the end of the 7 years, he was all excited. Time's up. I'm ready to marry. I'm ready to take my wife, my beautiful Rachel, as my bride, and I'm so excited. He had made this deal, and now it was all complete. And when the time came for Jacob to receive his bride, Laban, the father, had called the community together. Come, we've got a wedding feast that's going on. Everyone is invited to celebrate. And when the evening came, when the veil of darkness set in, Laban brought out his daughter Leah instead, with a veil. As was customary under the veil, Jacob was marrying not Rachel, but Leah. The veil covered that which was intended. What he truly desired was Rachel. Instead, Laban had tricked and deceived, saying, the oldest daughter is really the one who should be married first. And so Laban gave Leah to Jacob to be his bride, and Jacob took her as the bride, and they were consummated the wedding, and maybe his wedding stupor, drunkenness, night underneath the veil, not knowing all this. And in the morning looks and says, wait a minute, Laban, what have you done? Where is my bride Rachel? Instead, you've given me Leah, the one who is known as maybe not so pretty or having weak eyesight, as Scripture says, who is not the beautiful Rachel. Why have you deceived me? Well, in the veil of darkness, under the bride's wedding veil, there was this deception. But when the veil of darkness is removed, or when the veil of deception that one wears is removed, suddenly we see the truth. And it's a beautiful spiritual metaphor for us. Not just a wedding story, not a story of deception in a wedding ceremony, but a story of our lives. That we've allowed a veil of someday to cover up the now, the blessing, the moment, God working in our hearts and lives, unfolding goodness in this very beautiful moment, the very now. We have been married to the thought that someday my blessing will come, and we realize that's not who I want to be married to. I don't want to be married to the possibilities, the further down the roads. I want to be married to the now. I want to be married to this is my moment of God's blessing and the unfolding of goodness. You see, this very truth of Scripture, of God's goodness unfolding in the now, is found within Luke chapter 17, verse 21. These truths are teaching us to understand how the power of God works in our lives. And we need to fully grasp this for this year of great success, of being set free in 2023. For Luke 17:21 is this beautiful passage, come, everything is now ready. Come, the invitation is, come on. Let's gather, let's believe, let's move forward. Come, because everything, not just some, everything that you desire is right now. Now, right, not someday, now. Now, isn't that a beautiful passage? That's one that you need to memorize, and we need to hold dear in our hearts and our lives, right above our refrigerator door. Hold it in our mirror. Look at it every Sunday. Put it in the rear view mirror of your car, that when you're looking up everywhere, you realize all things are ready right now in this very moment. For Jesus in this passage was speaking on this subject of hospitality and humility. And a guest came to Jesus and simply said, someday, that's right. The guest is telling Jesus, yeah, someday, Jesus, God will have a kingdom feast, and how happy and privileged will be those who get to share in that joy. I can imagine Jesus going, what? Someday? You're saying someday? You're talking to me? The one who's teaching? Oh, I'm just speaking now. Come now. Everything is ready. I'm the one who's teaching, and you're telling me that there's someday? He was wearing the veil, covered with the curtain. You see, he had bought into and been married into the very thought that God works in the maybe further down the road, someday kind of action within our lives. Now, Jesus heard the someday, and he replied with this parable, this essential teaching that illustrates to us that we have so many times overlooked. And he goes on to say, this is the story, this is the parable. Let me teach you through this simple illustration. And Jesus speaks to the man who spoke the word someday. A man invited many to join in a great feast, Jesus said. And when the day of the feast arrived, the host instructed the servant to notify the invited guests and to tell them to come. Come, for everything is now ready. Everything is ready for you. But one by one, the guests began to make excuses. You know, things like, I can't make it to church because there's a football game, or, I'm going here and I can't. Oh, no, those weren't the excuses. I'm sorry. But they sound familiar, because what he said was, I can't come because I bought some property and, I've got to go and overlook at it. Another said, here's my excuse. I can't come because I purchased 5 teams of oxen and I got to see how they're going to work the plow. And another said, I'd love to come, but I just got married and I can't come to a wedding feast. And you see all the excuses, when Jesus was simply illustrating the miracle, the feast, the blessing, the goodness, that which you desire in your heart is ready now. But too often we make excuses in our life. We try to live in the world of plan B versus plan A, Oh, I'm believing for healing, but if healing doesn't come, I'll have this surgery and I'll have this problem, or I'll have this, I'll go that pathway or this. I'm believing for prosperity in my life, but it doesn't. I could sell my car. Maybe I'll sell my, rent my house out. And so we're thinking of all the plan Bs when we're trying to trust in God's plan A. You see, we create excuses and saying, well, God, if you don't really manifest, if it doesn't really happen for me, I got a plan B. You see, those are excuses for us to say, you know what, I don't really have to trust that right here and now my blessing is there. I don't have to walk in that kind of faith that says, I step out and believe all things are working together for good right now, not someday. Well, the servant, as Jesus went on to tell the story, reported back to the host and told him all of these crazy excuses that people have had. And the master became very upset and discouraged. And he said, now, well, then go back and go out throughout the city and find anyone that you find, the poor, the blind, the disabled, the hurting, the lonely, and invite them to come to my banquet, because the feast is ready. And let us welcome those who have no excuses. God's blessings are ready for those who have no excuses, who don't say someday, but believe in the now, believe in this moment. And the host went on to tell his servant, I want you to go out and insist, tell them that they need to come to this feast, that the blessing, everything is ready right now. It's all prepared. It's ready for them to receive, and insist that they come with such intensity, because saying that it is already here, it's already there. It's that kind of insistence in our lives. Ooh, wouldn't that be wonderful if we were surrounded by a community that insisted that we hold on to plan A and let go of plan B? Wouldn't it be wonderful if brothers and sisters, fellows, congregants, those in the community of God, the family of God began to support and edify and build up one another and said, I'm believing with you. Your healing is now. I'm believing with you. Your prosperity is happening this moment. I'm believing with you. Your success is unfolding even as we speak. I'm believing with you. It is here and now. Come, everything is ready. You know, wouldn't that be wonderful? Because that's the kind of community we're called to create. So the servant was told, invite them for the purpose. What's the purpose? Well, that the banquet, the feast, it's all ready, that it might be experienced. Come, because I am looking for a full house, a complete community that is inclusive of everyone that desires it to come and experience it. This is the power and presence of God, inviting you to experience now the blessings. Oh, but you know what? We're married to the someday. We're married to the possibility. We're married to the maybe down the roads. You see, it also goes on to say that no one who received an invitation to feast with me and makes an excuse will ever enjoy my banquet. It's simply saying that the very power and presence of God is available. But if you're making excuses, how do you ever expect to receive this blessing? If you're making excuses for your life, not now, not this, it can't happen today, it won't be available, it's further down the road, it's a someday, you're never going to experience the banquet of infinite blessings within your heart and life. It's as simple as that. Someday becomes our excuse for not having it now. From the Gospel of John is this beautiful passage where those just came to Jesus and said, don't you say that the harvest is ready, but you're talking the harvest ready, Jesus, but it's 4 months down the road. Then will come the harvest. And Jesus said, look, I tell you, lift up your eyes and see that the fields are already ready for harvest. You see, it requires a different perspective in our lives. That we're moving away from the physical realm and we're beginning to believe and walk by faith and trust by faith and live by faith and speak by faith and act by faith, that it's already done. It's completed. How wonderful it is to celebrate that which you've prayed for and say, it is so, it is done, and so it is, it's complete. You know, when you're believing something miraculous in your life and you're already at perfect peace and you can sing, all is well, I can rest, I am safe, all is well. We sang it earlier, right? You could be at that perfect place right here and now where that's your theme song for every day, that you're not waiting for it. All is well right now in this very moment. But sometimes we have to lift that veil that's been covering us. Number one, you begin to imagine. That imagination, that wonderful power that begins to say, I can believe right now. I'm imagining. This is how we lift our eyes up to a higher consciousness. We look away from the circumstances around us and begin to see what God sees. That all is well. That all is perfect. We begin to feel it. We begin to speak it. We begin to give voice to it, give action to it. This is the work of removing the veil and seeing that life has perfection to offer us, goodness to offer us, blessing to offer us, and healing and wholeness is ours to be experienced. Number two, after you've done that imagining, you got to let go of those excuses. Those sort of, let's just cover our tracks a little bit, or let's make a way for us, because if we don't really believe it's going to happen for us, we can say, well, God's at work and it may happen someday. And we hold on to the plan B in our language. So I want you to let go. I want you to lift the veil and see that your blessings are there and begin to lift it. Because when you lift the veil, all is revealed. When we let that go. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9 says this, and this powerful passage sums it all up. That when you lift the veil, that what no physical eye has seen, what no ear has heard, what no human mind has conceived, these are the things that God has prepared for those who love him. But God has revealed it to us by the Spirit. not the physical eye, not the physical ear, not through the thoughts of the mind, and we're thinking, how's this going to happen? How's this going to work out? How's this going to unfold for me? That's not how it happens. It happens through the Spirit. And in the Spirit, we begin to see through the beautiful unfolding of the faith that we claim and we speak. It unfolds, we imagine, and we begin to embrace it, and we live in this realm of unlimited imagination. How is God going to work? I don't care. Do you care? Do you care? Are you going to put restrictions? God, you got to work it this way. God, I've already planned it out for you, and I want you to do A, B, and C. Or do we just say, surprise me, surprise me? You know, in the Spirit, we're full of all kinds of surprises. I love this wonderful journey that we travel in our spiritual life, that we are living this wonderful moment day by day of unique and special unfolding or surprises. It's the life of surprise, I chose this pathway, or surprise, the answer came this way, or surprise, it unfolded that way. Now, Sunday, the last Sunday this month, we're hosting Lottery Ticket Sunday. I'm giving a lottery ticket to everyone who comes. And yes, if you join us here at City of Light, you're going to receive a scratch-off lottery ticket. Now, not because we believe in lottery or we're a lottery church or whatever, but it's simply a symbol of the unique and unusual ways that God may be blessing you. You know? Who knows? I can't win at a lottery. Okay, you're already making excuses, aren't you? Well, I'm not going to come because, I never would win anyway. So you're making excuses, aren't you? You see? You got the veil on. You got the veil on. Lift that veil off and begin to believe. Who knows? You may be the one who wins Mega Millions or wins whatever the highest amount of that scratch-off ticket is. And just remember who gave you the ticket. That's all I ask. No. But what we want you to understand is this. Is that infinite possibilities are available when we begin to imagine and dream how God may work. Come now, for everything is now ready in this moment. Your healing is now. Your abundance is now. Your prosperity is now. Your wholeness is now. The desires of your heart is now. All it takes is for you to receive it in the power of imagination. That imagination that says, I can dream, I can express this very desire within my heart. And it is that which becomes the invitation to begin to dine, to begin to imagine, to come to the banquet of, and so it is. That's right, we're eating the banquet of, and so it is. What a place to feast. Because, and so it is delicious. It's delicious. Isn't it delicious to know it's done, it's finished, it's here, it's arrived, it's complete, it's manifested. Feast on the deliciousness of your desires being here and now. The difference between a banquet where the host says the dinner will be ready in 1 hour, or a banquet where the host says, dinner is served. Come now. Everything is ready. This is the invitation for our lives. This is our spiritual journey where we have the faith to believe all things are possible now. Come, for everything is now ready. Amen. Isn't it exciting that we live in this kind of realm of miraculous unfolding now? I don't know about you, but I hope you've today ripped off that veil of the someday, ripped off that belief, ripped off that which is holding back any kind of truth unfolding or any excuses that you may have had, and you begin to walk in this complete trust, complete faith and knowing. And in that, we have this wonderful opportunity to be a blessing and to share in our gifts. For those of you joining us through Facebook, you too can participate in this wonderful spirit of generosity and of sharing and giving, and in the power of believing in a God of abundance. We have something that we share every Sunday. It is a proclamation you'll find on the screens. We're going to invite you to share this with us, an affirmation of celebration. Let's share it together. City of Light is a thriving community that is experiencing the abundance of God. We are growing and flourishing because we believe and practice the teaching of spiritual truth. As we give and receive, we join now in the divine flow. We know that all we share with life returns to us multiplied abundantly, and so it is. Ushers, would you come? Thank you for that pure imagination. What a beautiful song. Today, we're inviting you to take this imagination sheet, a proclamation of that which you're imagining. And I want you to fill it out. Begin to claim now, right now, these things are unfolding for you. This is your year of amazing blessing. This is your year to live an unlimited life. So begin to write those things out and then place them in the envelope we've given you and address it to yourself. We encourage you to then drop it off give it to me or one of the ushers, because we want to hold these things for this year and pray over them, believing with you, joining with you. You're not doing this journey alone, you know that? There are people joining with you in faith in this community, and I am one that is believing and trusting with you for that which you have secretly placed in that envelope. I am believing with you that, well, God knows the desires of your heart before you even ask. So I am going to be joining with you on whatever that desire is. It's unfolding now, right now. What an exciting year we have ahead of us. Amen? It's going to be a wonderful journey full of surprises and the unfolding goodness of God. And doesn't that bring a perfect peace to your life? A sense of all is well? I can rest? Well, let's join in this closing chorus that really proclaims that very thought. Yes, there is peace on earth. Yes, it's flowing all around me. Yes, there's peace everywhere, but it begins in me. Join with us. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as my center, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, yes, this is my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me. Let's pray together. Let's join our faith in this moment, believing and trusting. In this very moment, we center our hearts and our thoughts in the divine goodness of God. We rest knowing that all is well within our lives, that we are safe, we are secure, that there's perfect peace, for there has been resolve in every conflict. There's been resolve in every challenge. There's been resolve in every need, and we are grateful. In this moment, we have proclaimed for each and every one the blessings of the now moment, of this very instant, that the healing they desire, the resurrection power within their bodies to restore them, that they may experience abundance, prosperity, success, that the love of God is flowing in their life and they feel loved and are loving, and that generosity is their gift to share in this world. We claim all this. For we know that the goodness of God is at work now. And we have been invited to come to this moment. Come. The invitation is there, for everything is now ready. And we're ready to receive. For with gratitude we release this, saying, and so it is. So take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins in me. I'm so glad that you've joined us today here at City of Light for our celebration service. And for those of you who are joining us through Facebook, all across the world and across the United States, wherever you may be, we want you to know that we're sending you lots of love, believing and trusting with you for the special needs that you have in your heart. If there's some way we can reach out to you and help you or assist you along your way, feel free to reach out to me. My email address is revtpaul@aol.com. Be glad to connect with you as your spiritual coach, as your pastor, as we join together in this multimedia world, as we become a congregation that goes well beyond these four walls. We appreciate you joining with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week as well. God bless you. For each and every one who gathered here, let's complete our proclamation forms today during our social time. Let's join together in our lobby for a great time of fellowship together. God bless you. Let's go in God's peace. Amen.